In a world that feeds on chaos, what if you were able to harness stillness as your most powerful tool? What if the secret to power isn't more money, more people, more glory, but less? We've been conditioned to believe that success is a sprint, a relentless chase for more possessions, more recognition, more validation. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the path to true power lies in mastery over the very things everyone else is controlled by? This is where Stoicism comes in. It's not just a philosophy, it's a secret weapon that can turn your greatest weaknesses into unstoppable strengths. And today, you'll discover how to wield it. The Stoics realize something the world has forgotten. Power is not excess, it's in control. It's in letting go of the disorder and concentrating on what really matters. They manage their emotions, their desires, and their acts, not to deny life, but to live it to the full without diversion. What if you could too? Stoicism teaches you how, and once you penetrate its mysteries, nothing will ever be the same. Ready to unleash your own inner strength? Let's get started. The Stoic warrior navigates the world with the quiet assurance of one who understands that real power lies not in force, but in control. He does not go out of his way to find trouble, but he is ready for it. His fiercest fights are against the silence of his own mind rather than the din of the outside world. His strength is not characterized by the battle wounds, but by the composure and the clarity that he retains amidst turmoil. This warrior is not ego-driven or manipulated by transient emotions. He does not crave praise or endorsement. The Stoic warrior's greatest weapon is his mind, the firm, unbreakable center that enables him to confront whatever tests lay ahead of him. Where others break down under stress, he stands unflinching, anchored by principles that see him through life's most taxing trials. He knows that the biggest enemy is not outside of him, but the agitated, restless mind. He knows that what is inside can construct or demolish, and so he conditions his mind every day, learning to practice restraint, discipline, and the power to let go of desires that might lead him astray. His shield is patience, his armor is wisdom, and his sword is knowing he cannot control the world, but can control his response to it. Thus, the Stoic warrior is an exemplar for all of us. He shows us that strength isn't about having the power to kill an adversary, but the power to keep moving when the world wants to divert us. He doesn't rage against his foes. He attacks with lucidity, intention, and an immovable adherence to the higher standards that constitute him. This is the Stoic warrior. Epictetus was born a slave, a man held in bondage by the chains of circumstance, but he was free. His body was bound, but his mind was not. He knew something deep. Real power does not lie in the power to control the outside world. It lies in the power to control the inside world. His philosophy was plain but revolutionary. He believed that we have no control over what befalls us, but we do have control over how we react to what befalls us. It is this control power that characterizes the Stoic warrior. This reality resonates today more than ever. Contemporary life assaults us with outside stresses, traffic, social media, other people's opinions. We squander hours on end, attempting to manipulate these situations to our advantage, with little success. The news cycle is constant. There are opinions all around, and there are high expectations. But the Stoic path is different. Rather than resisting the things we cannot change, the Stoic resists not at all. We have no control over the weather, the individuals in our lives, or the things that happen beyond our control. But we have control over what we think, how we respond, and how we act. This is where our real power begins. The Stoics think. Picture a working professional in a high-pressure situation. Deadlines are close at hand. Expectations are high, and the heat is on. All around him, chaos erupts. Meetings stack up, technology malfunctions, and the office grapevine runs wild. But within, he is calm. He doesn't squander energy, attempting to control the uncontrollable. Rather, he controls what he can: his reaction, his mind, and his actions. He remains steady in the storm, not because the storm isn't there, but because he knows that his calm will allow him to navigate it. His productivity increases, his mind remains sharp, and he operates with a clarity that others around him cannot fathom. The Stoic fighter knows the wisdom of Epictetus. His sole authentic power is the way he reacts to the world outside. The instant he accepts this, he loses the weight of frustration and starts tapping into the authentic power of control, the domination of his own mind. By releasing what he can't control, he becomes strong enough to deal with whatever adversity comes his way. In this inner release, he discovers his freedom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperor, was constantly confronted with challenges throughout his life. War, betrayal, sickness. These were not uncommon or transient experiences for him. They were his everyday reality. And yet, in spite of the agony he had to go through, Marcus did not perceive these challenges as curses. Rather, he perceived them as tests, as chances to harden his character. In his meditations, he says, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." For Marcus, every test was an opportunity to hone his virtue, to further his resilience. The Stoics thought that barriers were not there to shatter us. They were there to shape us into better versions of ourselves. Jump forward to today. A contemporary entrepreneur, ambitious, is confronted with a huge setback. His company, which had so much potential, is on the verge of collapse. The market is brutal, and the competition is fiercer. He could so easily give up, as most would. But he doesn't. He takes a step back. He redefines the circumstance. Instead of viewing failure as the end of the road, he views it as a lesson, a chance to tweak his business model and hone his craft. The circumstance remains the same, but his mindset has, and that makes all the difference. In this instant, the Stoic doctrine is actualized. Nothing that befalls you is ever bad unless you decide it should be. The entrepreneur could have reacted with anger, frustration, or defeat at this moment. Instead, by deciding to see the failure as a chance to grow, he mobilizes himself to proceed. He no longer looks at the setback as an obstacle. He sees it as a part of the process, one necessary to his ultimate triumph. The sting of the moment becomes the energy that propels him to go on. Now, with the next obstacle coming his way, there is no fear, just determination. He smiles, not because the journey is effortless, but because he is ready. He understands that every failure is just one step closer to mastery, one step closer to success. Having altered his mentality, he has altered not just his outlook, he has altered his destiny. The business person, as much as the Stoic soldier, recognizes the obstacle as not foe, but friend on the road to greatness. In so doing, he finds the real strength of perspective. Seneca, the most highly regarded Stoic philosopher, possessed a simple yet deep grasp of wealth. In a materialistic world fixated on accumulation, he instructed that genuine wealth lies not in possessing grand possessions, but in possessing few desires. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This insight, apparently counterintuitive in today's material world, is the basis of Stoic detachment. Seneca understood that the greater we hold onto outside things, be it belongings, people, or even what others think about us, the greater we open ourselves up to trouble. Any attachment provides a future cause for unhappiness, for anything on the outside is changing, to be lost or damaged. The moment we put external sources into what makes us happy or safe is the moment when we render ourselves vulnerable to influences over which we have no power. Now picture a high-level executive who, having enjoyed years of success, suddenly finds himself hit with a massive and overwhelming crisis. His business is on shaky ground. Stock prices are crashing, competitors are gaining traction, and the pressure is crushing him from every direction. The world around him is collapsing. Most would panic in his shoes. They would be emotionally controlled by the circumstance, floundering, acting impulsively, and motivated out of fear of loss. But not this executive. He has disciplined his mind in the Stoic way. He is detached from the result. This doesn't imply that he is unconcerned about the fate of the company or that he doesn't care about the effect on his people. Instead, he has realized that his actual strength comes from managing what he can control: his actions, his choices, and his mind. Having mastered detachment, he has let go of the emotional turmoil that would debilitate others. Whereas others may weaken with fear of losing wealth, prestige, or approval, he remains equanimous and rational. He does not concentrate on what can be lost, but on what can still be achieved. The crisis does not overwhelm him because he has learned to accept what he cannot control and concentrate only on what he can control. The success of the executive is not due to chance or outside circumstances, but due to his detachment from the desire for a specific outcome. His capacity not to be shaken by uncertainty is what enables him to make decisive action and act with integrity. He never pursues momentary delights or short-term victories, but makes decisions on the basis of rationality and self-control. His detachment provides him with the ability to make decisions free from panic, greed, or fear. This law of detachment has far-reaching consequences in our contemporary society, where we are all hooked on the attainment of material success, validation, or comfort. The fear of losing what we possess keeps everyone in a perpetual state of stress and anxiety. Whether it's our career, our belongings, or our loved ones, we tend to associate our happiness with things beyond our control. The Stoics instruct us that freedom is achieved through non-attachment, not indifference, but the wisdom to embrace change with equanimity. By freeing ourselves from attachment to external outcomes, we free ourselves from the tyranny of desire and fear. The executive succeeds not because he is fortunate, but because he has mastered himself. He knows that his understanding and peace do not derive solely from the possessions he holds, but from his capacity to stay grounded in the midst of uncertainty. By detachment, he accomplishes what others cannot: mastery of his own understanding of the mind, and the capacity to make decisions that are not ruled by the transitory whims of the world. This is the strength of detachment, and it is a tool that, if used, can transform even the most colossal crises into possibilities for development. In a crisis, when all that provided security collapses, an individual is confronted with the worst. The job is gone, relationships are broken, and the future is uncertain. The world appears to be collapsing, but rather than giving in to despair, they remain upright. They apply the Stoic methods they have been studying for so long: deep breathing, rephrasing the situation, separating from emotional responses. Amidst the chaos, they gain clarity. Imagine this moment: in storms and burning bridges, in the din of fear and doubt, they walk untroubled. The world around them collapses, but not on them. Their feet tread steadily, their mind calm. This is the strength of Stoicism, the power to stay grounded as the rest of the world falls apart. It is not controlling the world around us, it's learning to control the one within. In this very instant, the individual knows that they do not require more resources, they require more wisdom. Their strength comes not from what they have, but from what they have developed internally. Rational understanding, emotional restraint, and unshakable resolve. The real weapon of Stoicism is peace. It's the peace that results from knowing that regardless of what's happening, you possess everything you need inside yourself. You don't require the world to be perfect. You simply need to be unshaken. In a universe full of distractions, chaos, and uncertainty, the Stoic warrior is tranquil. They do not battle the world. They just alter the manner in which they react to it. Their resilience is in the fact that they can select how they react, that they can stay grounded in spite of the tempest brewing around them. What if, rather than acting on the world, you were to start reacting with Stoic strength? If you're willing to tap into your own Stoic strength, share this video with someone who can use it. Comment below on which Stoic principle you're going to apply today. And if you're willing to hone your mind like never before, subscribe. Few know the real power of Stoicism. Are you among them?